With great devotion, Jesus himself is present in the Eucharist. In the scripture, in the gospel, we read the great miracle of the multiplication of the loaves. A large crowd had come to listen to Jesus, and it was getting dark, and the disciples came to Jesus with a request. Please dismiss the crowd. It's getting dark. Let them go and find themselves some food and shelter. We are in a wilderness area. The disciples did the same thing as all of us would do. When we are faced with a problem, when we are challenged, we pass it on to somebody else. We pass it down the road. So they wanted Jesus to dismiss the crowd, send them away. We won't be able to feed all these people. What are you doing? So, they just gave up. And Jesus was not ready to give up. Jesus was not ready to dismiss them. He said, bring what you have. The small number of bread, 5 bread and 2 fish, all that they had. Jesus said, bring it to me and make the people sit in groups of 50. And Jesus took the bread, blessed it, and gave it back to the disciples to distribute to the crowd. And we know the story. After everybody was fed to their full satisfaction, more than 12 wicker baskets of bread were left over. When our faith is not strong, when we are weak in our convictions, we don't try to solve the problem. If our faith is strong and we hand it over to Jesus what little we have, he can do miracle, he can do wonderful things. Look at Mother Teresa of Calcutta. As a small person, as a young nun, she came to India with a handful, maybe a pair of habits. She had no other resources other than her confidence in the Lord. She did such a great work that now the missionaries of charity are all over the world in all the countries, and she was awarded Nobel Prize. And she said, I was invited to speak in Harvard. In my whole life, I had never attended college. So, when we have the faith and we submit ourselves to the Lord, the little we have, the Lord can multiply it, the Lord can do great miracle. Mother Angelica here in America, she established the largest religious broadcasting corporation in the world. She had very little resources, but she had great faith in God. My dear friends, what we need is have greater confidence and greater trust in the Lord. Our resources may not be big. Our abilities will be small. From the human standpoint of view, what we have may be very little. But when we surrender ourselves to the Lord, when he takes over, everything multiplies, everything gets blessed, and we will be truly children of God when we surrender ourselves to God. My dear friends, the purpose of my visit today is to share with you my mission experience in India. I work in a Central Indian mission where we work among the most poorest of the poor, the most backward class people. They are backward economically, socially, and in many other ways. The vast majority of them are Hindus who do not want these poor people to get advanced in life because they get cheap labor, they get these people to do all kinds of household chores. So when the Holy Father handed over to us this mission in 1972, we focused mainly on the education of their children. It's a big area, vast area, and we have about 30 schools and 30 boarding houses where we bring children from these poor families and give them an education. Only through education we can empower them, make them free from the cycle of poverty, and make them real upright citizens. To do all this work, we need your support and generosity, and I am appealing to your generosity today. I know every parish has its own priorities. Yesterday I was attending the golf tournament here, beautiful fundraiser, which was, I was really impressed by the support and generosity of the people. You have 2 schools, you have your own needs, but despite all these needs, the Bishop and Father John gave us this opportunity, and I'm very grateful to all of you and to the Society of the Propagation of Faith for giving me this opportunity. May God bless all of you, bless all your endeavors, and once again, blessings of this great feast.